A pleasant good afternoon to each and every one of you. Being the academic head of Hoxton College, I was asked by our Vice President to introduce our guest speaker for this event. I was hesitant at the first because I personally don't know him. But as I came across to all his achievements, I was very impressed. He holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in Economics from the University of Virginia and a Juris Doctorate from the University of St. Thomas, where he graduated magna cum laude. Beginning his career as a contract specialist, he procured millions of dollars of materials, supplies, and services in support of various government agencies through direct dealings with representatives of business and commercial industry. In addition to his time in the private sector, he also worked with the Office of the President of the General Assembly of the United Nations in New York. He provided research on areas of interest to the President, including peace building, rule of law, international trade and development, and United Nations reform. He has worked at high levels in both public and private industry throughout the United States and brings a unique blend of experience, talents, legal knowledge, government acquisition, and leadership to the Peregrine team. Ladies and gentlemen, the former president of Clark Investors and Locators Association and the sales and marketing vice president of Peregrine Development International. A round of applause for Mr. Jeff Pradhan.
Good evening, everyone. Before I get started, I'd just like to thank Hoxton College and personally Leigh Hoxton for inviting me to provide this commencement speech today. And I'd also like to congratulate all the students and their parents and families for achieving this accomplishment today and graduating. So congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2013, if I could offer you only one tip for the future, sunscreen would be it. The long-term benefits of sunscreen have been proved by scientists, whereas the rest of my advice has no basis more reliable than my own meandering experience. And I will dispense this experience now. There is no greater time to be alive and young than today. You are entering a world where the gaps from information access and geography have been bridged by technology and advances that have changed the way we live and work. The world is a much smaller place than when our parents were coming up and graduating from college as we are today. This means that competition is now global. You are no longer only competing with your classmates and your countrymen here in the Philippines. More and more, that competition is regional and global, which is why you should view this degree that you have just worked so hard to earn today as a starting point in your lifelong pursuit of knowledge. Your graduation certificate is more of a learner's permit, which signifies the start of your intellectual journey, and rather not the ending point, because the fact is, in the growing world of information, you never truly stop learning and growing, and those that do are left behind. As you start your careers in aviation, tourism, and hospitality, and ICT, you will be asked and required to develop new skills and knowledge, and to undergo further training courses or even go back to school for another degree or certificate. The reason for this is that we never truly reach a point in our lives where we know it all. There is always something new in our field or in the world to change the way we think or do things. This constant growth is a very important aspect of being a human being, and one I hope you will never forget as you start your path of lifelong knowledge. Philippine aviation is the genesis for growth in the country's tourism sector, so I'll start there. The Philippines aviation industry is one of the fastest growing in the world. You can look no further than Cebu Pacific for an example of this. Cebu Pacific, as a carrier, has gone from nothing, starting out, becoming a company about a decade ago, to a majority share of the passenger market, all within a decade here in the Philippines. It's nothing short of extraordinary. of around 60% of the domestic passenger volume as well as international passenger volume. So you now have more domestic carriers flying the Philippine skies than you ever have before. And that is because air traffic in the country is exploding. The country is building new airports or expanding airports everywhere to meet this demand. Look no further than Clark International Airport to see this phenomenon work. A decade ago, the only flying that was taking place at Clark was the birds. And last year, Clark was one of the fastest growing airports in the world with over 70% growth in passenger volume. It was the fastest growing airport in the country. And today, Clark is now the third largest airport in the country and is expected to be probably the largest in the country in about 10 years. So this increase in traffic here at Clark is only going to increase for the next couple of years and probably see exponential growth as we move forward. And that's having a trickle-down effect in all aspects of the economy here in this area as well as the country. So the Philippines' demographic of flyers is very small in comparison to the rest of the world. There are a tremendous amount of first-time flyers in the country and many more millions who have yet to still fly. People are demanding quality and transparency. They're demanding more and better opportunities for themselves and their children. Most importantly, when people see a good flight now, they're getting involved. Attempting to make a difference in their barangay, in their community, their city, and their country. There's less apathy and more action in the Philippines today. In my opinion, this transformation of the country only continues with the help of you graduates who are here, entering the workforce, and the electorate, and the purchasing class today. It is you who will see this trend to continue to rise and change the country for the better, or fall back to business as usual. I challenge all of you to become more civic-minded, engage with the realities of your local community and your country. Change happens from within, and you are all agents of change. But trust me on the sunscreen. Thank you.